Management has a big role when it comes to business. And what is that role? So, when we talked about ethical frameworks or employers' obligation, management comes into play in ensuring that the workplace is efficient, productive, and ethical. So, management is used to refer to the members of the business organization responsible for overseeing and leading the business to achieve its goals. So, this is just a recall of what you've learned before in some of your classes, but management are members that are responsible for overseeing the business. Okay? So, you have people who are middle management. These managers give direct instruction to employees under their authority and report to ascending lines of authority. So these are the people who deal with the rank and file employees. So the people at the your staff, these are people who direct the workers. Okay, and then you have top management who are like your commanding officials that make important organizational wide business decisions. So we have three models of business organization: the rational model, political model, and the caring organization model. So the rational model, the first one, sorry, the first model, the organization is seen as a structure of formal relationships designed to achieve specified technical and economic goals with maximum efficiency. Okay? So for this the rational model of management is that there's a formal structure designed to achieve um, the goals at the maximum efficiency. So it's a very rational model. Formal hierarchies are identified in the firm, and you can see it's a very strict hierarchy. So if you look at armies, for example, it's a very rational model. If you look at the structure of an army, or common big businesses have a very rational and formal hierarchy structure. And the definition of management in this rational model is officials in positions with authority. So these are the people who make um, authoritative decisions. So typically in a rational model, you don't look at management as the people who are doing hands-on work. Okay, let's move this again. And the responsibilities of management in a rational model is to provide employees with the wages and working conditions agreed upon. Okay? You enforce policies in the business process that guide the working environment, and you motivate employees to generate a productive workforce. And of course, you also manage ensure that fair treatment for all stakeholders in the fulfillment of business obligation. So these are the common responsibilities in a rational model. Okay. In a very political model, let's move that again. It's a system of politics. So competing power coalitions, formal and informal lines of influence, and communication make up the political model. In the rational model, if you would compare it to a political model, it's much more strict in a rational model. You follow the authority of those above you. Okay? Here in a political model, there's much more debate going on, and the main ethical issues are related to moral constraints on the use of power in the organization. So there are conflicting power struggles in the political model. Okay? Management here is defined as authority bestowed on those who have been trained to take on the responsibilities. Only those who have been selected can make decisions. So management is an authority for those who they think can handle and take on the responsibilities. As you would compare, management here is officials in positions with authority. In the political model, it's much more um, based on your power or influence or those that can do the task needed in a political model. Now move this again. And when we look at responsibilities, what are the responsibilities? So you exercise authority in managing worker behavior, monitor and enforce corporate policies on the professional output. You hold employees responsible for effects of their action and takes responsibility for anything that happens under their coverage of their authority. So if you would compare it here in the national model, it's much more policy based. You're looking at the rules and regulations, very rational. In the political sense, you're looking at managing behavior, communication, you're looking at more at a figure where it's a very political figure, and that um there's more communication between the management and the employee. Okay, so you're looking at policies by monitoring closely, responsibility for anything that happens under your authority. But meanwhile, in the rational model, it's very clear cut rules and engagements, very rational. The next one is the caring model. Okay, when we talk about the caring model, you focus on the person, undertaking as an end in itself and not a means of production. Going back to our first lessons, if you would look at categorical imperative, you're looking at that you're focusing on the person, that each person is an end in itself, that this person has certain goals in life, that they're just not means for your production. And caring is growth enhancing for the cared for. Okay, so when you're showing care, it actually helps the business, or it helps uh, you grow also as a person in authority. And when you show care, it enables the person you showed care for to grow. Okay, and obviously in a caring organization model, relationships are more very very important. And in this model, it promotes a good level of transparency between the employer and the employee. And management is seen as a community selected leaders based on charisma and merit. So this comes into play where in the caring organization model, people choose the person they want to be in management rather than based on your merits or responsibilities. Management is seen as a community selected leaders. The community chose these leaders. And for the responsibilities, okay, they guide and inform their employees to work towards a common goal, ensure growth and personal development, promote practices that enable the person to be self-actualized, and ensure productivity and employee satisfaction are met. So here in this model, it's very caring. It's just as the name states, you're looking at how you can care for the employee and you bring the community with you as you go up. Okay? So this caring organization model looks at how you can help your employees become more self-actualized, or more that they feel comfortable sharing their talents to your organization so that productivity is met. Now, depending on the context of a business, the ethical model used may be different. And in a big business, let's say SM, where they have many different businesses working under them, one branch may employ a different ethical model or a different management model from a different model in a different branch. And this helps because you're fitting it into the context of what the business is. So, not all the time the rational model is the best way to go. Not all the time the caring organization model is the best way to go. So, there is a perfect time and a situation for the different types of management. Okay? For a small business, a caring model may be the best method. So, showing good care for your employees so that they may be productive. But for large enterprises, a political model might actually be the best way to go because you have too many employees and you can't use the caring model on all of them simultaneously. Okay, so again, depending on your business, depending on the situation, you may have a different or more feasible option.